So we'll start with the introduction to radiation and radiation physics. Before we start actually the radiation physics, we are going to see about some of the basic pioneers who have been involved in radiation. So after each chapter we have some MCQs, we'll discuss that and we'll proceed on with the next chapter. Okay, so moving on to the pioneers in radiology, it was Sir William Morgan in 1785. Even before Roentgen introduced X-rays, he was unknowingly was the first man to produce X-rays, and then it was Hittorf in 1870 who produced the cathode rays. William Crookes also accidentally generated the X-rays, and Phillips Lenard, it's called the Lenard rays, and it uses a less sensitive ketone, okay, which is called as a pentadecyl paratol ketone. But the basic credit to the entire radiation physics goes to this person, who is Wilhelm Conrad Roentgen. He is actually discovered X-rays on 8th November 1895. The date, the month, as well as the year, and the day, that is Friday. Okay, everything should be basically asked as MCQs now and then. And one Nobel rays, and it was basically called as Roentgen rays initially, and then he was the first to radiograph a human body, and that person was his wife's hand, which was Bertha Roentgen, which lasted for around 15 minutes. So the first dental radiograph was given by Koenig and Volkoff in Germany, and it was Volkoff was radiograph of his own molar in 1986, and Koenig in February 1896. So both of them share for the first dental radiograph, and then there are also a few other persons, Harrison and Edmund Kells, who also share the credit for the first dental radiograph. So the father of dental radiology is Dr. C. Edmund Kells. He was the first actually to practice radiography in root canal therapy. That is in 1899. So he's been called as the father of dental radiology. Radiation damage was also observed after the discovery of X-rays, and it was first observed with the hair loss for a person. So that was the first radiation damage which was noted after exposure to radiation. And then was a golden age of radiology, where the Coolidge tube was discovered, that is in the year 1913. So the year of 1913 is called as the golden age of radiology, after the discovery of hot cathode tube by William David Coolidge. This person is again an MCQ, Dr. William Rawlins. He is called as a father of radiation protection. He was the first to report harmful effects of X-rays and designed a protective tube housing to shield the X-ray tube. So the tube housing with which the X-ray tube is caged inside is basically designed by him. He is also called as dentistry's forgotten man. That's another term. So he is also called as the father of radiation protection as well. And he experimented with guinea pigs in the year 1901. Okay, so we've seen three fathers till now: the father of radiology, who is Roentgen; then father of dental radiology, which is Edmund C. Kells; then we have seen father of radiation protection, which is Rawlins, William Herbert Rawlins. So apart from that, he also designed the use of lead glasses, and then the entire lead housing or the tube housing was designed by him. And the feature of exposing only the area of interest and to cover the other areas, okay, was also proposed by him, and also to use a long target and a film distance, okay, and also introduce filtration. So the major things which brings about the radiation protection measures, everything has been introduced by him. So he's been aptly called as a father of radiation protection. Moving on to the X-ray films, again Kells and Rawlins were the first to use the photographic films. First radiographic film was actually a glass plate. It was not the film what we use now. And first film was a Kodak film, which was introduced in the year 1919. And the E-speed, actually the speed currently what we use is the ECTA speed, which is called as the E-speed film. That was introduced in the year 1980, which reduces exposure by 50% when compared to the D-speed film. And some of the pioneers in the techniques, Western Price, again these are all MCQs for you. Western Price for paralleling angle technique, and he also introduced the rule of isometry for bisecting angle technique, as well as he introduced even the leaded gloves as well. And there is one more term which is called as Radiodontia, that is where radiology has been applied for the dental part of it. So they coined a term which is called as Radiodontia, which was actually first introduced in the year 1909 by Raper, and he also introduced the idea of bite wing films. So the credit of introducing the bite wing films actually goes to Raper. And again this is an MCQ, Fitzgerald for long cone technique of X-ray mission, but the first to use the paralleling angle technique